You can go from 12% conversion to 38% conversion on your training calls, on your webinars, on your live trainings by making a couple small adjustments. Are you interested? All right. Small changes make big adjustments in the outcome. Jim Padilla here with Gain the Edge. We are your doorway to millions. We are here. We specialize in helping you scale your company, going from profitable to viable to buyable, building a business that is worth selling or that has the pleasure to keep, right? Because it's running so well, it's generating revenue, and you are at choice. So I want to share with you just real quick. This is a quick hitter here, and I just want to help you let you know what we just did to move results for a webinar for one of our clients from 12% conversion to 38% conversion with literally a couple of small tweaks. First of all, I'm going to share just a couple of simple tips with you, but more than anything, I'm sharing this concept with you. It's not about the tactics around this. It's about the understanding that you need to be reviewing and auditing your sales calls, whether they're one-on-one calls, webinars, workshops, trainings, lives. This video will get edited and reviewed and audited so we can find how do we optimize and fine tune better. There's always something that can be done differently and more effective. That's your biggest takeaway in all of this. When's the last time you audited your webinar, audited a sales call? Okay. Audit, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, it just means to check it. It means to review it with some intention and purpose. Okay. First rule of editing and auditing is keep the changes minimal. If you make too many changes, then you don't know which change was responsible for the outcomes, right? But what you want to be looking at is what are you doing to engage people, right? Are you auditing? Are you editing? If you are, I want to know in the chat, tell me when's the last time you've audited your webinar, your last training, your last invitation for somebody to come into your world or take a deeper step on that journey with you. If you don't know, time to check it out and go back and do it. If you're not recording them, start recording them all. Record everything that you're doing. You don't have to keep it forever, but you need to check them all. And then either you edit them and audit them, or you send it to somebody else that you trust who can help you, who knows you, understands the journey you're on, the problems you solve, the people you serve, and you, so they know how to help you show up as the best version of you. That's the next piece in this is no matter what you're doing, make sure that you're not just engaging people, but that you're doing it in a way that's natural and authentic to you. Don't be some call and response monster like, hey, type in the chat if you're going to do this. Check this out. Talk to people the way you normally would in an average conversation. When you talk to people, you don't talk at them. You ask them questions. You ask them if they understand. Does this make sense? Are you getting this? Right? If you're in a conversation with somebody and you're sharing things with them, you're like, hey, are you okay with this? Do you understand? How is this landing for you? Are you feeling this? Right? Because you want people, even if it's a one-way conversation like this one is me talking to you, but I'm engaging you as if you're sitting here in front of me. I'm asking you questions because I want you to be like, yeah, I do get that. Or no, that's stupid. Why would you say that? Right? I want to know. Tell me if this is resonating with you. Tell me when the last time is that you checked in with people throughout the conversation. It may not seem normal, may not seem comfortable because you're asking a question that nobody's responding to. Maybe they are, maybe they're not physically, but they are in their head. They're going, yeah, okay, I get that. My rule of thumb is every 60 minutes. If you're for every hour, I want 100 check-ins. You'd be amazed at how little effort it takes for 100 check-ins. So if you do a 30-minute training, you want 30, right? Just asking people, does that make sense? Do you get this? Are you doing this? Is this something you experience? When's the last time you've done this? And there was just 5 things right there. And each time you're like, yeah, I can answer that. That makes sense. That was me. I just did that the other day. Or no, I haven't audited my sales calls or my webinars or my trainings. See, at the end of the day, we want salespeople to win for you. Whoever your sales team is, whether it's you or people you hire, people you train, no matter what it is, if you have sales processes in place that allow your sales team to engage people more effectively, more simply, so they don't have to become some unicorn. And more importantly, if you're doing your sales, you don't have to become a unicorn. You just get to be yourself. And you get to show up and say, I got this. I got you. And I'm world class at solving this problem. And I do it in ways that nobody else does. right? So I just wanted to share the simple, quick outcomes that we had for, again, client. We had about 150 people register, 40 people show up, and been getting pretty consistently for the last several weeks a 10 to 12% conversion on those attendees. And this is somebody who's great at sales, might be just like you. So just because you're great at sales doesn't mean you don't need to audit and edit and check your process. Always be improving, because when you do, you can make a subtle change that can jump your conversion by 10%. What would 10% do to your business? Write it down, type it in the chat. If you could increase your conversion rate by 10% on your webinars, what would that do? Even if you're only getting 10 people to show up, that's one more person to buy each time. If you're getting 100 people to show up, well, that's 10 more people to buy, much less if you're knocking it out of the park and getting hundreds or thousands of people to show up. There's always going to be a powerful, outsized outcome for the person who edits and audits the process and puts some intentionality behind this and is reviewing and checking what you're doing. So make that be your number one takeaway, and type in the chat, what is your commitment to doing this? When's the next training or webinar that you're going to lead? And are you prepared to be as natural as you can? Get some check-ins, commit to 100 check-ins in an hour, and it's easy. We just did 20 of them here in 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, you can do the same thing. Are you ready for that? Are you willing to make that commitment? Do you want the kind of outcomes that we're talking about? Can 10% improvement make a difference to you? Would you like to go from 12% to 38% in your conversions? And if so, reach out to me and let's talk about how to make that happen. Okay, but take these actions and let me know how it's working for you, because I want to see you increasing your conversions so that you can start making all the money you need, being profitable. Then you can start building a viable business around you and have something that could be viable, because those are the most pleasurable businesses to run. One that's running effectively, generating a lot of revenue, making a lot of profit, whether you want to sell it or not. What you do matters. You deserve to be paid well for it. Let's go make a difference, make a big impact, and get paid really well. We'll see you on the next one.